Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, the Drafted Up podcast. Today we continue on our fantasy football ranking series as we jump into our top 24 running backs, so our RB1s and our RB2s for your standard 12-team leagues. That's Nick, I'm Theo. Like I said, this is the Drafted Up podcast. We're over on Twitter at DraftedUp_pod, but more importantly, you can find the show and listen or watch over Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever else you watch or listen to your podcast, we'll be there. Search Drafted Up Podcast, like, rate, subscribe, review, follow, share, all that good stuff. We appreciate all the support. Nicholas, how you doing?
Doing good. Ready to dive into some running backs. News about Najee broke literally minutes before we're doing this podcast about a firework accident, so that will affect rankings at some point. I'll move on Mario and Hampton probably up one or two spots, and Najee will probably down a couple, but it's not going to hugely affect anything.
I actually saw something about that this morning, about Najee Harris, and it was just like a rumor that he got injured in a firework accident on the 4th of July, and the rumor was that he may be blind or partially blind in one eye, but they had no details, so it was just something to monitor, and then it came out that he should be fine come the regular season.
Yeah, he should be good to go for regular season, but yeah, he does have eye injury due to fireworks, so just be careful out there. It's crazy. Go to a professional fireworks show. Why are we lighting off our own fireworks? I don't get America.
We're back to this. The Drafted Up podcast, anti-firework.
So anti-firework. Look what happens. JPP loses fingers. Najee loses an eye. Good God, dude.
Put it in reverse, Freddie, or whatever the guy's name is.
Back it up, Terry. Back it up, Terry.
Yeah,
put it in reverse, Terry.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I think, I don't know where he's going, but I think I'm higher on Hampton than a lot of people for at least redraft this year. So it's not going to affect my rankings too much. I actually think the news out of Tampa might affect mine more, and that's Tristan Wirfs starting the year on PUP. So that does worry me about the running attack there with Bucky and Rashad White. But we'll see how the offseason progresses. And
I think it more so affects. I think it affects Bucky more so than White, because White's really just going to be getting a ton of screens and dink and dunks out of the backfield. That's where his main points for fantasy are coming. He's not an efficient running back to begin with, so it doesn't matter. So I think it affects Bucky more than anything, and I'm very interested to see where you have Hampton, because he's currently going as RB16.
Okay, well, I'm lower than that. I didn't know where he was going.
Okay, I was going to say, like, he's going high. He's going really high.
But I would have him in that tier with, like, my RB 16, 17, 18 in that range. So
he's probably the tier under, but it's pretty close.
Okay, so all right. You want to kick it off? 24. We'll do these in groups of 6 again.
6 again.
So 24 to 19.
All right. You want me to go first again, or are you gonna lead the way with running backs?
You can go.
All right. So I'll just first running back outside of my top 24 is Travion Henderson, rookie running back, New England. He's 25. You definitely probably have him in your top 24.
I have him higher than Hampton, so.
Oh, okay. So my 24 is David Montgomery, Detroit. 23, Tony Pollard, Tennessee. 22, Omari and Hampton, the Chargers. 21, Ken Walker, the third, Seattle. 20, Aaron Jones, Minnesota. 19, James Conner, Arizona.
Okay, my first running back outside my top 24 is definitely in your top 15, probably, because you love this guy, and it's Quinshon Judkins.
Oh, not my top 15, but he is in my top 24.
Yeah, so 24, I have Tony Pollard of Tennessee, so we're pretty similar. You got him at 23. Yeah. 23, I have Ken Walker from Seattle. How's it feel to be the high man on Ken Walker?
Disgusting, because I was looking at my list and I'm like, can I, literally seconds before you hit record, I'm like, can I move him down? I'm like, would I take him over Hampton? And I'm like, probably Hampton's in a split backfield. I'm like, would I take him over Pollard? I think
probably in a split backfield, but
I don't. I'm not a Charbonnet guy at all.
23, Ken Walker. 22, I have DeAndre Swift of the Bears.
Whoa, you got him way higher than me, and that's hilarious because I love Swift this year.
Not in your top 24?
No.
Wow.
27. He's 27.
Let's go. I never thought I'd be the high man on DeAndre Swift.
I'm happy to hear that. That's funny.
21 is Chuba Hubbard from Carolina. 20 is Amari and Hampton of the Chargers. And 19 is Trevion Henderson of the Patriots.
Okay. So, yeah, a couple similar guys, and then some guys I don't have in my 24.
Yeah, so let's shoot Pollard real quick, because I'm 24, you have 23, so we're real similar there. I assume we're both in the same belief that Brian Callahan is once again lying to us about this being a split backfield. And
even if it is, Tony Pollard's still going to be Tony Pollard. Mm-hmm. He's 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. You know what you're going to get, pretty close to 200, if not more than 200 attempts. 5 to 8 touchdowns. Like, Tony Pollard's just a really solid RB2. Mm-hmm. So that's why I just wanted to fit him in my top 24, because I think he'll finish there at the end of the day.
Yeah, I got him for 244 carries. I'm trying to see where I have Tajay Spears. I have Tajay Spears at 43. Like, I
have 41, so yeah.
Yeah. I'm not concerned about Spears' involvement here. I think Pollard has, like I said, he's just a lock in to top 24. Mm-hmm. He's going to push 1,000 yards. I think what's holding him back from being higher is touchdown work. I just don't think Tennessee's going to score a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah, no, I agree, especially with a rookie quarterback. And I love Cam Ward. They're not going to be moving the ball as much as, like, the high-powered offense. Like, the Chargers are going to move the ball really well. Detroit, obviously, is going to move the ball. Seattle's got a nice little offense. So I think these teams are just going to move the ball better than Tennessee. But I do think Tony Pollard's going to be a really consistent piece out of Tennessee this year.
Yeah. I think come the regular season, you'll be happy with Tony Pollard. He's not going to blow you away, but he's going to get you your projected good floor, and he's just a good safe pick. Like, you'll be fine with that if he is your RB2 or your first, like, flex guy.
Oh, he'd be a really good first flex guy for sure. That's just a lock-started flex guy every week. But yeah, I'd be happy as RB2 for sure as well.
Yeah, and he's also good insurance if you do take a shot on one of the rookie backs, Hampton, Henderson, Judkins, RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson, or if you take one of the older guys like an Alvin Kamara or James Conner or Joe Mixon and Aaron Jones, and they just kind of hit that wall and start to teeter off, and you have a safe floor to replace them in Tony Pollard.
Yeah, for sure.
Ken Walker, I'm at 23. You had him at 21?
21. He's going as RB17, so we're both lower than consensus. This is all sleeper rankings, obviously. We'll get that out of the way. The ADPs we're using are sleeper ADPs.
Where's Tony Pollard going? Tony Pollard's going at the beginning of the 7th round.
Oh, Tony Pollard's going like RB27.
That's great value.
Yeah, he's such a good late round value, dude. Pick 18, 75.
20, 24, 25. RB26 is Tony Pollard right now. I love that value. But Ken Walker, like, if there's somebody in my bottom half here, my 19 through 24, who I think could has the best chance to propel into like an RB1 range, it's probably Ken Walker out of these guys. Like, he's so talented, but like, he can never stay healthy, and things just haven't gone his way. Like, I don't know. I love him as a talent. Like, I think he's a good running back, but I just don't know how much fantasy value he carries. He hasn't been overly I don't think he breaks 1,000 yards this year. I have him just under 1,000 in my projection. 30 catches. That's nothing to ride home about. So he doesn't give you a lot of PPR upside. I think Zach Charbonnet is going to be a little bit more involved with Kubiak being there. So I think that takes away some of his value as well. And I thought at times last year, like, I know he dealt with the injuries, but when Charbonnet was playing, when Walker was out, I thought Charbonnet looked way better than he did. And I didn't think Charbonnet was that good of a prospect compared to Walker coming out of UCLA.
I agree, but his statistics have just gone down every single year. His rookie year, he had 1,000 yards. The year after that, he had 900. Last year, he had 500. His yards per carry have gone down every single season. His touchdowns have gone down every season. His carries have gone down every season. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to be, quote for quote, fine this year. He's playing for a contract. I hope he's out there more than he was last year. I just see him as an RB2. I don't think his ceiling's as high as an RB1. I don't think that could ever happen. I think
Okay.
he's talented, but I don't think he's that kind of guy to consistently put together an RB1 type of season.
Mhm.
I think he's a good RB2 though, for sure.
That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, you say he's going what, 16 right now?
17.
17. Yeah.
If I had to put money on someone moving out of my top 24 come regular season, it's probably gonna be him.
Wow. So we're a little bit of the opposite because I think there's a chance I could bump him up depending on things like I said. I think the biggest for him being down at 23 for me is I think Zach Charbonnet is going to have a role in this offense.
I just don't think the run game's going to be that good to begin with. I don't think Sam Darnold's going to be able to run that offense as well as we did in Minnesota, where Aaron Jones was amazing last year. I think Walker will get the job done. I don't think he's going to be close to 1,000 yards, if not barely over, like 1050 or 950. That's going to be his window, 950 to 1050. 7 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns. Like, he'll be a fine RB2, but I don't think he has like the high upside as a lot of the young guys do.
Okay. Amari Hampton, rookie running back for the Chargers out of University of North Carolina. You had him
RB 22.
22. I'm a 20.
Right behind Walker.
Yeah. I think he's just going to outplay Najee out of the starting role. Like, I think Najee's going to be involved, but I have Hampton projected more carries, more rushing yards, more rushing touchdowns, more targets, catches, etc. Like, I just think the talent's going to overtake, and I think Hampton's going to potentially. He's going at 16, so I'm still lower than his current ADP, and that might drop a little bit come like when the casuals get involved and they're not familiar with Amari Hampton as a name, so he could be a value in home leagues, but I think he has league winning upside, especially if he's just the guy through and through. And you spoke more highly of Hampton during the draft process than I did, but we both had him as our RB2 for the rookie class behind Ashton Chanty, obviously. But I really think that Hampton is just going to take this job. I think Najee will be involved, but I think we're looking at a guy who's going to push 1,000 yards, push 7 to 10 touchdowns on the ground, and push 40 to 50 targets. So that should elevate to 35 to 40 catches possibly.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going to end up taking the starting job, if not just be the starter. We'll see how the eye injury develops for Najee, but I do think Najee's going to be heavily involved. I think he's going to be involved enough to where Hampton's not going to take that RB1 step, but he has the talent. If anyone's going to do it, like you brought up Ken Walker, it's going to be Hampton. If Hampton finished RB6 this season, I would not be shocked. He was really close to Genty in my eyes in terms of skill set. So he went to a great offense, a team that wants to run, a coach that is run first. We've seen it last year with Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Both those guys are gone, and they replaced him with Najee and Hampton. I think Hampton's going to have more stats across the board than Najee, except touchdowns. I think Najee's going to be the touchdown guy. I think Najee could push double-digit touchdowns, if not more, and Hampton's going to be like 6. But and Hampton's going to have a great season, though, for sure.
Are you comfortable taking him where he's going? 16, which is fifth round? Yeah, back end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th. Guys going around him. Alvin Kamara is going the pick before him currently. Ken Walker, 2 picks after. Joe Mixon, 3 picks after. Chuba Hubbard, 4 picks after.
I would take Chuba Hubbard. I would take Mixon. I would take Kamara. I would switch Ken Walker and Hampton on my rankings right now, just based off of the injury right now. But I think Hampton's going to move up 3 or 4 spots. But I would take a good amount of those guys over Hampton.
Okay. All right, David Montgomery. You have him in your top 24.
I have him 24 yet.
I do not. I have him at 29.
Okay.
I just don't see the reception totals coming through this year for him. Last year he had a ton of pass game work, which wasn't really expected. And I just truly think this is the Gibbs takes over the backfield season. I have Montgomery statted out for a nice little year, 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. but the lack of pass game work, 20 catches is really what pushes him down. Like I have Travis Etienne over him, and I'm not, and Tyrone Tracy, of both over David Montgomery.
Oh, I do not have either of those guys over Montgomery.
Yeah,
I think Montgomery's still going to have a really good year. He's going as RB21, so we both have him lower than consensus. I just think Detroit in a whole takes a step back, and I think Montgomery takes that step back without Ragnow there being the touchdown guy. So I don't think he's going to have 12 total touchdowns this year. He had 13 total touchdowns last year. I think his ceiling's 10. And if that's his ceiling with 800 yards, he is capped, but he's still the offense that you want to link to because it's still Detroit. And God forbid if Gibbs goes down, Montgomery's an RB1, and it's not even going to be close. So I'm still comfortable taking Montgomery in the top 24 just based off the offense. Even if it takes a little bit of regression, he's still going to be fine. And then if Gibbs happens to miss a couple of weeks, Montgomery's value skyrockets. So you can either trade him for a big haul or just rock with an RB1 with him.
Yeah, I'm just worried. Like last year, he looked a little sluggish at times. Like he still looked fine, but running backs real finicky. Like they just kind of stop being good. Like
he's getting up there. He's 28.
Yeah. So and he's putting a ton of carries here in Detroit, and he's finished what, one season, full season, without missing time.
2019 he played 16 games, so that wasn't 17 games at that point. So that's his rookie season was his only complete season.
Yeah. So, I just think it's going to be more Gibbs based, and it kind of steps. I think he's a really good safe pick. Like I would understand taking David Montgomery where he's going with the back end of the fifth.
He's going RB21.
5'9", so mid to late fifth. I get taking him there because he is a good floor play.
He doesn't have much ceiling. Like he's never finished out of the top 24 in every season. He's been RB 24, 4, 19, 24, 17, 16. So his window, I get he had that season where he finished 4 his second year. That's not going to happen in Detroit. Unless Gibbs missed the whole season. That's the only way Montgomery finishes in the top 5. But his window, I think, is 24 to 16. So it's not a huge window, but it's not a huge floor either. So, like, like these guys, what you're going to get with, like, Montgomery, Pollard.
He's Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I agree. But he's not the starter. That's a concern. Yeah.
All right. The other two guys I had in mind that you didn't have were DeAndre Swift and Trevion Henderson.
I have Swift at 27 and Henderson at 25.
Yeah, and then the only other one for you we didn't talk about is Aaron Jones, who I have in my top 20.
I have him 20. James Conner was my 19. We didn't talk about him either.
Oh, okay. I've James Conner at 14. Aaron Jones at 17. All right, so DeAndre Swift. I cannot believe. I was shocked when I because I do my rankings and I don't look at I don't sort them by like points until after I've statted out everybody, so I don't have a general idea of where they're going to be. But when I saw DeAndre Swift in my top 24 over a couple guys who I don't know if I would take him over, so that again that's where you kind of do tier-based rankings instead of just following numbers. But yeah, I Swift essentially got pushed up this high because I think he's going to be the pass catching back here. I think Roschon, I'm also higher on him than consensus. I have Roschon at
for sure
42, and he's going.
I got him at 43.
Okay, and he's going at the tail end of drafts. You can get him around 13 or 14. And I just think he's the touchdown guy, the David Montgomery, essentially, for Ben Johnson in Detroit. And I think Swift's going to I have Swift getting 42 catches on the season. So that really boosts him up in a full PPR. If we did half PPR, he doesn't make my top 24.
He had 42 catches last year. Like, his low on catches in his career is 39. That's his low. And then you add him to the Ben Johnson offense. Swift is an extreme value right now in fantasy football.
Yeah, he's
People are
going.
sleeping on him. I get Chicago, all the talks where they wanted a running back in the draft, and every time they want to draft one, someone either jumped them and stole their running back to picks before. But Swift is their running back right now, and then Roschon's their backup, who I'm also higher on consensus. So I just like their backs. They have a really good offensive line. Ben Johnson is an amazing head coach who obviously wants to run the ball, and he runs a committee. So, like, Swift and Johnson, I think both have a ton of fantasy value behind the Ben Johnson offense with the offensive line. Caleb's actually going to be able to run a competent offense this year. I just think the Bears the run game is really being slept on right now. People are more so looking at the pass happy first offense.
Trying to, I'll tell you right now, I have DJ Moore high, but I think a lot of people are projecting Colston Loveland or Rome Odunze as being these big breakouts, and they could be. Come the end of the year, they could be in the running game for just not work out. But if you go with the zero RB strategy or the hero RB strategy, Roschon Johnson, great value. Even DeAndre Swift, great value. Like if you're doing that strategy and you could walk away with DeAndre Swift, come August, we're going to know more about this backfield. But right now, he's the clear-cut starter. And he's going at the 7.5 as running back, 27?
Yeah, something like that.
If you're getting a team starting running back at 27, I think you bite at that value. And if it fails, you took the shot on a guy who potentially could just workload his way to a fantasy-relevant season.
Especially a guy that you're literally drafting lower than he's ever finished in his career. His lowest finish is RB21. And people are drafting him 6 spots lower than he's ever finished with arguably one of the better offensive coaches he's ever had. Mm-hmm. He was in Philly, and it worked out really well in Philly, and it got him paid. But other than that year in Philly, he was in Detroit, and it was average, but he still got the job done. He was 18, 15, 21, 20, 19. Those are good seasons, and he's going lower than his floor. I don't know. Swift and ETN both have really good value in my mind. I know we're going to get to ETN at some point. But I think they're almost the exact same running back this year.
Is ETN in your top 24?
No, I thought you said ETN.
No, I have ETN over Montgomery. I have a 28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have ETN and Swift back-to-back at 26, 27.
Okay.
They're the same running back this year, and I think they both have really good value.
Mm-hmm. All right. Trevion Henderson. I got him at
25.
19, and you got him at 25. So clearly you think Ramondre is going to have a bigger role in this offense than I think he does. I mean,
a little bit. I only have him 6 spots lower than you do. That's not like a crazy difference.
I think this is there.
Where do you have Ramondre?
41.
I have him at 39.
Yeah. I still have Ramondre getting. I just don't have Ramondre having any pass game.
He's going to be low yards per attempt because that's what Ramondre does, and he's going to have 6 to 7 touchdowns, maybe 8 at the most. Henderson's going to blow him out of the water in efficiency and the receiving game.
I have Ramondre at 200 carries, 800 yards, 840 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and only 15 catches. And then Henderson, I just have incredibly efficient, 157 carries, 800 yards, 4 touchdowns, 60 targets, 43 catches, almost 400 yards through the air, and two more additional touchdowns. So I just think Mike Vrabel's not going to stand for the fumbling issue. That if Ramondre has the fumbling issue carrying in from last year, that guy was fumbling. He had like 6 straight games with a fumble. Mike Vrabel's not going to. He's put to the bench, put the next man up, and that's Trevion Henderson. I just think Henderson gives this team juice that it doesn't have, and with the question marks at wide receiver, whether it's Diggs, Kyle Williams, Mac Hollins, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas, Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, like it's a muddled receiving room. Mm-hmm. I think Trevion Henderson becomes, sans Hunter Henry, the focal point of the passing game or the offense in general behind
Steph Diggs. You say Steph
Diggs? Yeah.
Okay. I think Henderson's just a really safe option in the passing game because of what you mentioned. There's no receivers there. Diggs most likely is going to start hurt. So whenever he comes back, he's not going to be fully healthy right off the bat. And he's going to take time to develop a rapport with Drake May while Henderson's been working with Drake May in camp and all throughout training camp and preseason, and then playing regular football games with him. So Diggs is going to be behind. Ramondre is not going to be used at all in the passing game, I don't think. And like his yards per carry has just been garbage. It's gone down almost every season he's played as well. So I expect it to be around the high 3s, low 4s again, if that. So yeah, I think Henderson has value. I just don't know how much value in the New England offense. I don't think they're going to score a bunch. Kind of like you don't think Tennessee's going to score a bunch.
Yeah. I mean, I only have him at 6 touchdowns total passing receiving.
Yeah, I think that's around what I have him at.
Yeah, I just think I just think he's going to be a big part of the passing game. So full PPR.
Yeah,
I think he's incredible value.
Yeah, he definitely has full PPR value that you really want, and you just want any of these rookie running backs for the most part. They're all going to be really value late in the season. Mm-hmm. Most of them probably aren't going to start as the starter number 1 RB on their team, but there's a good chance most of them are the RB1 come the end of the season for their team.
Yeah, Henderson, he's going at the 6'9" right now on Sleeper as running back 23. So I'm 4 or 5 spots higher than consensus. You're a little bit lower for him, and he's going 2 spots after Quinshon Judkins, who's going middle of the 6th there at RB22. Isaiah Pacheco's going before both of them, which is and RJ Harvey also ahead of them. I would take both.
Harvey stuff is still early from when he got drafted. That's going to drop drastically.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Who did we touch base on? Okay. Chuba Hubbard, we haven't talked about. He's in my bottom half here. And then you have Aaron Jones and James Conner as the only ones we haven't talked about.
Yep. And Chuba's my next guy up. He's my 18.
Okay.
So he's right with those other guys.
Yeah. So Chuba Hubbard, 21 is where I have him, which is way lower than consensus. He's going 15.
RB 18 on my app.
18. Okay. We have the same one. Mine just has the overall selection. It doesn't have positional wise, which is annoying. Yeah. So 18. So I am a little lower than consensus. It's just, again, passing work. I just don't think he's overly efficient in the passing game. I think that bumps him down a little bit in full PPR scoring. Again,
he had 43 catches last year. The year before that, he had 39.
Yeah, but I think with the addition of Teteroa McMillan and another year with Xavier Legette and Adam Thielen's there, I think Bryce is going to focus more, and I think we're going to see the receivers and pass catchers, maybe even Jatavian Sanders, involved more in the offense, and Chuba becomes downgraded in the passing attack, and as Bryce gets a little more confident. But if Bryce does get frazzled, he's going to be dumping off a ton. So I think of these RB2s, Chuba's got the best floor. Like he's the elite version of Tony Pollard or David Montgomery in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm really high on Chuba this year. I like him a lot. I think his pass game is going to be around the same. He's seen 54 targets, and the year before that he saw 44. I think it's going to be in that window.
I got him at 42.
I'm at 45, and he's bringing in the high 30s.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a really good catch success rate. He scored 10 touchdowns rushing, 1 through the air, so 11 total. That's going to take a regression, I think.
Yeah, I have him at 7 total touchdowns.
I have him at 9, so I haven't taken a step back, but not a huge step back. I still think he's going to be the main focus point of this whole offense, and I think Carolina is going to move through Chuba. And if Chuba's moving the ball, Carolina is going to be successful, quote for quote successful.
Yeah,
I think Bryce Young's just gonna really rely on Chuba Hubbard this year.
Tier wise, I have Chuba 21, but I would have him in the same tier as Hampton and Henderson, who are 20 and 19, and my 18 and 17, maybe even my 16. So he's in that same bucket of those guys. He's just the points didn't balance out for him. To jump those guys. But I think Chuba Hubbard, incredible floor. I think he is still going to be the workhorse back here. I do think Rico gets 400 to 500 yards on the ground, might steal a touchdown or 2 from him. But, and again, he's another guy I would pick at the end of my draft just on the chance Chuba Hubbard gets hurt. I think Rico slides into this role nicely, and he would be the workhorse back there. But I do think Chuba Hubbard's a great floor. And again, I think if you if you want to go receivers early and Chuba's your RB1, think you're content with that because he's just got a really good floor.
Yeah, he has the chance to finish close to an RB1. I don't think he's gonna finish an RB1. So you're not getting a huge ceiling with Chuba, but like you said, his floor is super safe. I don't think he falls out of the top 20. So you're looking at a medium to high level RB2 in Chuba Hubbard. He finished his RB14 last year. I think that's going to be pretty close to where he finishes.
All right, so Aaron Jones and James Conner. You had Jones at 20, Conner at 19?
19, yep.
Okay, I have Aaron Jones at 17. I have James Conner at 14. Aaron Jones, Minnesota added Jordan Mason. Aaron Jones had the most efficient season of his career last year. It's not like that RB2 finish he had years ago where he had like 20 total touchdowns, but in terms of workload, he had the most carries of his career, all that stuff. So he was utilized. I do think that takes a step back a little bit, but I'm higher on him than consensus. He's going as RB22 currently. So 20, he's going right after Henderson. So whatever Henderson was 23. So he's going as RB24. So I just think he's going to be the focal point of the running game. I think Jordan Mason's just insurance. I do think he'll steal some goal line touches. Like I have Jones at 5 touchdowns on the ground, but passing game wise, I think he's still going to. I have him almost at 70 targets and almost 50 catches. So I think full PPR, Aaron Jones gets a huge bump. I think that's going to be. He's going to be more involved there. They're going to take some of the workload from rushing away and use him more as a focal point, especially if Jordan Addison gets suspended for 3 games. I think Aaron Jones and TJ Hawkinson become the beneficiaries of that more than like Jalen Naylor and Tate Felton.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely. I think Jones is going to be more involved. He was heavily involved in the passing game. I think it's going to be around that, if not a little bit more. And I think Mason's going to be involved in the rushing game. I think you're going to try to use 2 running backs to lessen the load on Jones because 255 attempts is an insane number in your 30th season when you've never had 250 carries before.
Especially for a guy who is constantly banged up, and he managed to. Yeah. There was only one gap of the year where he like missed a little bit of time during a game, and but he played every game last year, so
he's
maybe it was an outlier
for him. He's a little bit undersized. He's 5'10", 208, so he's not the prototypical close to 6 foot, 215 that you're looking for. So he's a little undersized too. So for a guy to take that workload, it's going to be hard to do that back-to-back seasons. So I think you're going to try to get Mason involved. But again, I think Aaron Jones is a really safe option this year. I think he's going to be heavily involved in the passing game, and that's what you want in full PPR out of your running backs. Yep. So I just think Jones is another safe candidate for an RB2 territory.
Yeah, I have him at 219 carries, which is a 40 carry difference compared to last year.
Yeah, I think I have around like 215, 220. So pretty big dip in carries.
James Conner, you hate him.
I just
19.
Speaking of can't stay healthy.
I have James Conner 14. I love James Conner. I have him at 220 carries, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns on the ground. I think he's going to be heavily involved in the passing game. I have him at 40 catches for 300 yards and another 2 touchdowns. I just think he gives you this locked and loaded floor as a high-end RB2, low-end RB1. And the injuries, his health does concern me. He's older. He has taken a toll on his body between the cancer treatments and just being a workhorse back here the last few years. And Trey Benson, I do think same boat in terms of just a guy I want to stash at the end of my draft, just in case with James Conner, health always being a concern. And last year he did finish the year healthy, and he was great for fantasy, great for the Cardinals. And I do think that trend continues at 14. I just think James Conner gives you one of the safer fantasy players at a position of value.
Yeah, he finished RB11 last year, but that's him playing 16 games. And that's a question. If he can do that, I'm obviously not statting him out to miss games. I'm statting him out to play a full season. So that's why I have him where he is. But I think his range is like a low RB2 based off of his health. Like the last 2 years before that, he finished RB18, RB19. I think that's more so his window. Low 200 carries, like 215. kind of like Aaron Jones, and that's why I have them back to back. I think they're going to be almost identical this year, except Jones is going to be a little bit more involved in the passing game for his team, I think.
Yeah. Connor gives you more touchdown upside, though, than Aaron Jones does, and I think that's what
for sure
boosts him there. All right. Next group, 18 through 13. I got Breece Hall at 18. Aaron Jones, 17. Joe Mixon, 16. James Cook, 15. James Conner, 14. Alvin Kamara at 13.
All right, yeah, so a couple similar names there. Where are we going? 18 up?
Yeah, 18 to 13.
18's Chuba Hubbard for me, so we just talked about him. 17's Quinshon Judkins, Cleveland. 16's Breece Hall, the Jets. 15's James Cook, Buffalo. 14, Joe Mixon, Houston. 13, Alvin Kamara, New Orleans.
Okay, so Alvin Kamara, samey. James Cook, samey. Let's talk about your boy Quinshon Judkins. He just missed mine, 25.
Ooh, my boy.
Same bucket, though. Like, I would have him in the same tier as Pollard, Ken Walker, DeAndre Swift. The three guys above. I think Chuba is the tier break for me there. I wouldn't put him in the same tier as Chuba. I just see Cleveland's offensive line being an issue, so I don't see an overly efficient workload from him. I think he gets a good amount of carries. I just don't see him being a 4.7 yards per carry guy. And I don't see him involved in the passing game. I do think Jerome Ford has a role on this offense, which is a shame for Quinshon Judkins, and it's coming out early that Jerome Ford is the starting running back for this team. So I do think talent
I'll
takes
believe
over.
it when I see it.
Yeah, I do think talent takes over, and Quinshon Judkins, if he's not starting week 1, he's starting week 2. But I just see the lack of passing game work and just the Browns' offense in general, I think kind of holds him back a little bit. Their offensive line, like, I have him under 1,000 yards, so I think he's going to be heavily reliant on touchdowns. And I have him at 7, which is a good amount, but it's not enough. Under 30 catches. So that's what really held him back in my rankings, was just the lack of workload in the receiving game and my worry about the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns preventing him from being this 4.5 yard per carry running back. And he's looking more at like 4.1, which is fine, but for fantasy, that doesn't necessarily equate big numbers.
Yeah, no, I agree. I have him at 4.3 a carry, but I have him at close to 270 carries.
Okay, yeah, I'm at 227.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the day one starter on this offense, even with Jerome Ford. I get all the reports. This is the time where coaches are, if the rookie's going to earn it, he's got to earn it. And guess what? Quinshon Judkins is leaps and bounds more talented than Jerome Ford.
Dylan Sampson's more talented than Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford has been very fantasy relevant when he plays. He's been good, but he's not your RB1. He's not what you want.
He took a pay cut to stay in Cleveland.
That's because no one else wanted him, and he knew that.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about Judkins and the reports coming out, and I love Judkins coming out of college. I was bullish on it. I loved everything about this kid. I think he's going to be close to 1,100 yards, if not more, pushing double-digit touchdowns. He's someone I'm trying to get in every single league, around the back end of the 5th, early 6th, depending on where you pick. Yeah, I'm trying to get Judkins in every league I'm in. I think he's going to be a league winner late in leagues.
Yeah, he's going 6-7 right now. So RB23 behind Pacheco, which blows my mind
insane.
Still.
Yeah,
I would take so many people over Isaiah Pacheco, better under them. Yeah, like I said, my worry is the line preventing him from just being.
It's not going to be good.
This really good, efficient running back, and it essentially just comes down to lack of pass work and him being touchdown reliant. I have him at 976 yards on the season, and I have him at a little less carries. I don't think. I just think Cleveland's going to be down a lot, so they're going to be passing, and it kind of takes away from Judkins. And I think he's good, and I think his ceiling as a fantasy player is great because he could be the true workhorse running back. And just
I agree. I think the Browns are going to be rough. I get that, but I think their defense is going to keep them close enough in some games to where they'll be able to either run the clock out versus worse teams or just try to chip away at like, oh, we're down 7. Let's try to waste some time of possession and really swing the time of possession in our favor. And I think that's going to be done through Judkins.
Breece Hall. Fantasy darling a few years ago. He was going top 5. And
in dynasties, he was the top 3 asset at one point in his career.
You have him, 16, right?
16.
Yeah, I'm an 18, so I'm a little bit lower on him. Again, running quarterbacks don't necessarily use their running backs in the passing game, so I do still have him having a good amount of targets on the year and catches. I have him over 40 catches, but again, I just don't like the Jets' offense. I don't think he's going to score a ton of touchdowns. I have him at 5 on the ground, 2 through the air, barely over 1,000 yards. I am worried about how much involvement the other running backs have there, and that obviously Justin Fields is going to run a bunch as well. Like, you're not going to have Justin Fields sitting in the pocket. You're going to design plays for him to run. Like, I take it that Justin Fields could be the Jahmyr Gibbs of this offense. Again, Detroit familiarity coming over to the Jets. So, I don't think Breece Hall gives that upside. I think he's more David Montgomery, but I just don't think this team's built to score a lot, which is really what hurts Breece here in my rankings.
Yeah, he only had 5 rushing touchdowns and then 3 through the air, so 1 more last year than you had him this year, and he still finishes RB16, so that's kind of where I think his window is. I don't think his floor is any worse than 20. I don't think he's going to have a horrendous year, but the Fields definitely caps his limit. He's not going to be RB2 like he was in 2013. He's not going to have the 95 targets to close to 80 receptions. Breece Hall's value has usually have come through the receiving game for him. He's been a really good runner, very efficient, over 4 yards a carry, but he's never had 1,000 yards. He's never had more than 5 rushing touchdowns. So his rushing numbers aren't going to get much better than that. He'll be lucky to hit 1,000 yards with Fields as his quarterback. His touchdown numbers capped even more so now that Fields is there. And then his receiving numbers are capped because of Justin Fields. So don't expect a ton out of Breece Hall like that RB2, but expect just a really solid year because of the talent that Breece Hall is. Breece Hall, in my eyes, is still a special running back. He is a truly talented running back. I've seen it in college, and I've seen it his second year. I've seen it in his rookie year when he got hurt. He looked amazing until he got hurt. He was so flashy. He's so explosive. He can take these big runs and just go with it. I just don't know if the Jets are going to be able to do that because of the Jets.
Yeah, he's going as the RB13, so we're both lower.
He's going pretty early, yeah, because of Breece, because of who he is.
He's going at the back end of the 3rd, and I think the fall is from last year. He was a first-round guy, so he's getting that ETN treatment, but not pushed down nearly as far as Travis Etienne has been. But
no, he wasn't nearly as bad as ETN though last year.
Kyron Williams, Chase Brown are the 2 running backs going ahead of him. I'm obviously taking both those guys. James Cook, Alvin Kamara are the 2 running backs going after him. I'm taking both those guys as well. For sure. I'd be more comfortable taking Breece Hall if he was down a little bit towards Amari and Hampton, Joe Mixon, Ken Walker, Chuba Hubbard in the draft.
Yeah, where we have him.
Round.
Yeah. I agree. He's going a little bit too early for my liking, but at the end of the day, I get why he is, because he's Breece Hall. He's still a young, super explosive running back. It's just, I think Justin Fields caps all of his limits this year. I don't think he has the true high ceiling RB1 upside he had his second year.
Yeah. Fields, we may sound like we're speaking negatively on him, but he does bring, he helps himself in this offense. Obviously becomes a great fantasy player in his own right, fantasy wise. And I do think he also helps Garrett Wilson. So when we talk about receivers, we'll be talking about how Justin Fields is going to hyper target Garrett Wilson, similarly he did with DJ Moore in Chicago, and that worked out wonderfully.
Because he has no one else to throw the ball to. Exactly. There's not another receiver. There's literally one receiver signed. As far as I'm concerned, their depth chart's Garrett Wilson, and then just nobody.
And Mason Taylor, who's a tight end.
The Mason Taylor has a chance to be a really sneaky upside play just based off the weapons the Jets have.
Yeah. Joe Mixon. I have him at 16. You had him at 14. Right?
Yeah, can confirm.
Joe Mixon, hell of a year last year. big surprise. I didn't see it coming. I was
He was
kind of out on Joe Mixon.
He was RB1 through 12 weeks, which is most of the fantasy season.
Yeah, and he's currently going RB 18.
Yeah, 18,
the back,
19.
The back end of the fourth. I think that at that spot, it's incredible value. You're getting a team's running back one. Like, sure, Nick Chubb's there, but I don't think Nick Chubb is going to hurt Joe Mixon in fantasy. He might take a touchdown or two, but he's not going to take any passing work away from Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
I think it's more just insurance for Joe Mixon, who was a little banged up last year, and he's coming into the camp banged up, has an ankle and a foot issue. But
that's the one thing that worries me about Mixon. I would be so in on Mixon, but he's already in a walking boot. So like that's super concerning. So I don't know if he hasn't completely healed from last season, because that's what bugged him out last season.
Mm-hmm.
He missed a couple games due to his leg, or if he just re-hurt it. I don't know what the scenario is. I don't know if he hasn't healed or if he got re-hurt. But either way, being in a walking boot this early as a guy who was in a walking boot last season, it's a big red flag, and people need to pay attention to it if you're going to be drafting Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was any update currently, and it's just he missed off-season workouts due to the injury.
Everything is that he's going to be on track to play in camp. So that's even before preseason. I just need to see it. If Mixon's out there looking good, I'll be way more confident in him.
Yeah, he had the walking boot in May, but we'll see. We'll see if he's out there day one of training camp, no walking boot, looking good.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Joe Mixon kind of pushed up a little bit in ADP once, more casual people get involved and we see more people kind of getting back into football.
That's also a big thing. Joe Mixon in like normal home leagues is going to go a little bit earlier than his ADP just based off of Joe Mixon. I know there's a few people in our league that just our sister Chrissy draft Joe Mixon hella early last season when his ADP wasn't even that high, and my God, it paid off. Mm-hmm. Joe Mixon was amazing, and she just got it because he's Joe Mixon. His ADP wasn't that high. She overdrafted him, but hey, he finished phenomenal. He didn't finish phenomenally. Yep. He was pretty questionable on the back end of the season, but he got her pretty far.
All right, James Cook. We both have him at 15.
A guy we were so high on last season, and it's not like it didn't pay off. Everything paid off. Yeah. It just paid off in the most disgusting way possible. He had like 20 total touchdowns, and he only finished like RB10.
RB8 with 18 touchdowns.
And that's
he's going as RB14, so we're in range with his consensus.
Yes. I think he fell I think he's going at the right range.
Yeah, I'm still cool taking James Cook at the 312, the back end of the 12. I think that's good value, and I think he could flirt with RB1. Like, none of the pass catchers in Buffalo scare you. Like prevent you from Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid. Like, none of them are like alpha dogs that you could be like, well, James Cook's involvement's not going to be there. Like, but it's just the fact that Buffalo runs this efficient offense where everyone gets a piece of the pie. Like, James Cook with 18 touchdowns, finishing as the RB8, only played in 45% of the snaps last year. So
he's in a legitimate committee. He has other people taking carries from him.
Yeah, he's
not
the
like a
best
question.
Work share running back.
Yeah, it's not a question if they're going to take carries. They are. Ray Davis and Ty Johnson are going to take carries in this offense. And Josh Allen is also going to take carries in this offense. Yeah. So he's splitting the carries between four people. He had 18 total touchdowns last year. He had like 6 in his career before this season. Yeah. So the 18 is just not going to happen. It's definitely. I'd be willing to bet my year's salary on him not hitting 18 total touchdowns.
But I don't think the 2 is the reliance.
No, I still think he could. I think he'd be like 8 to 10. I think that's 10, a perfectly.
I have 7 on the ground, 3 through the air.
Yeah, I think he could be like 6 and 4 for sure. I think that's a completely reasonable thing. But for it to be 14-4 or whatever
Yeah.
it was last year. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, he's not a guy who's going to get a ton of carries either, so it does minimize there. He's also looking to get paid, and Buffalo is probably not going to. I don't see Buffalo
I
paying.
don't see that happening. Yeah.
I think James Cook is going to be on a new team in 2027, 2026. So we'll be talking about him wherever he's at, and we'll see how that works out for him potentially as a workhorse back if he gets that opportunity. He's still undersized, but
that's another thing. He's undersized, so he's getting the carries that an undersized guy should be getting.
Yeah, he'll flirt with 1,000 yards. He'll flirt with the upsides there for double-digit touchdowns. But again, you got to cap that because of Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, Josh Allen also being involved in this running game. There's also the potential of receiving work for him, but Josh Allen doesn't necessarily spam throw to the running back. So
yeah.
Targets. I only have him at 41 targets. I think Josh Allen's just a guy who spreads the ball around. Everyone eats in Buffalo.
Yep.
So, but maybe it does happen again, and we see James Cook get 15 touchdowns and become a fantasy steal at the 310 and becomes a top 10 running back. But you got to cap your expectations with him in terms of volume and whatnot, because that's just not what happens in Buffalo. I still like him, though, as a fantasy player.
I agree.
It may sound negatively. I like him where he's going. We're pretty much on with consensus. I think James Cook, he's probably my line of guys I'd be fine with as an RB1 if I go 2 receivers early.
Yeah, no, I would agree to that. I have Breece Hall under him, and if Breece Hall was my RB1, I would be pretty worried about my running back position. Yeah. But if Cook was my RB1, I think I could still get stuff done.
Last guy in this group, Alvin Kamara. We both have at 13, and he is going right after James Cook.
Yeah.
At 15. Alvin Kamara, the classic. Always falls, and his ADP is always low, and he always goes higher in casual leagues because the name Alvin Kamara carries
who he is.
Fantasy value and continues to get disrespected. I get he's getting older, and he's not efficient at all, and now you got a rookie quarterback or Spencer Rattler back there, so there are question marks here, but Kellen Moore runs a really good offense. I think the passing work's still going to be there. It's Chris Olave, who can't stay healthy, and then after Chris Olave, who's the team's second pass catcher, I think it's going to be Juwan Johnson. You might think it's going to be Alvin Kamara or Rashid Shaheed or Brandon Cooks, who are also there.
Yeah. Kamara is such a weird case, dude. He has one season in his career in full point PPR where he's finished outside of the top 12. Just one.
Yeah.
He's never rushed for 1,000 yards, though. He has 0 1,000-yard seasons. Yep. Kamara is such an outlier in fantasy just based off his athletic ability. He's still not 30. He'll hit 30, I think, during the season. But it's still all there, dude. We've seen it last year in a good stretch of games where Kamara was just dominating fantasy football. And he went pretty late for his ADP for Kamara, but it's not going to happen again. They're not going to let him fall crazy far. Like he said, he's going RB 15. That's honestly his floor. I don't think he could fall past that, even with Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler, God forbid, if that's his quarterback. I think Kamara is going to be fine.
Yep, I still have him over 70 targets. I have him under 1,000 yards, 940, 5 touchdowns, 1 through the air. Again, I think the potential is there for him to be a top 7 back if the Saints can score. I don't think they will. They're just a bad football team. So
exactly.
And so but I think he could PPR his way and get catches to be just a spam level RB1, and it's going to be gross, and you're not going to enjoy watching it, but you're going to love looking at the points at the end of the day.
I was going to say, you're going to love if you're watching the points add up live, because it's literally going to be 1 catch for 8 yards, 1 catch for 7 yards, 1 catch for 14 yards. And by the end of the first quarter, Kamara's got freaking 10 points on 6 catches. And you're just like, fuck yeah, dude, that's amazing. Yeah. He's just super safe. Last year, he had 8 total touchdowns. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to hit 5 or 6 just based off the Saints being dog shit. But Kamara is going to be amazing this year, dude, because he is literally going to be that offense, him and Olave.
Yeah.
Hopefully Olave can stay healthy, and hopefully Kamara can take the workload. He's been banged up once or twice in his career, but other than that, he's been relatively pretty good.
Yeah. All right. before we dive into our top 12 or RB1s, let's shout out our affiliates, our friends over at Finley Hats and W Energy. Finley Hats, they build hats for good times. Good times and long times. So if you want to have a good time, get yourself a good time hat over at Finley Hats. They got the cool little Stampede laces. You could secure your hat nice and snug. If you want to go jump off a cliff into a river, if you're into that kind of thing, or you want to, white water raft, keep your hat attached to your head. Or, in our case, running routes in the backyard and playing catch, a little more relaxed form of activity for us. We ain't doing all that crazy stuff, but get yourself a good Finley hat. Join the force over there, and they have a lifetime guarantee. So if your hat is damaged or destroyed, they'll replace it or repair it absolutely free. Free shipping across the U.S. So get yourself a hat built for a good time, and in the description there will be a link. Click that. That'll be a cool 15% off for your first purchase. So join the force over at the Finley Force. And then, of course, W Energy. They pride themselves on full ingredient disclosure, no artificial sweeteners, no dyes, all that good stuff. It's good, clean energy. They dropped a new flavor this week. Yuzu fruits, a Japanese fruit's like a blend of, grapefruit, lemon, citrus, stuff like that. I plan on ordering one this weekend. When that gets here, maybe we'll try it on the air. We'll give it a little go. They claim it's their best flavor ever, but they got a ton of other flavors as well. So check them out over at W Energy. Use the code DRAFTEDUP for a nice 10% discount no matter how many times you order from it. That code will always work. So be better with W Energy. Eat that dub. They have an app. You can download it. Just search in your app store W Energy, or you can go to their site, w.gg.
Eat that dub. W Energy. I'm gonna just get a shirt. I'm just get a shirt. Eat that dub. Drafted a podcast on the back. We all want it. We want the merch. We want the merch.
I don't want the merch.
I want the merch.
It's expensive. You can handle that then.
We'll see what happens. We'll get there.
All right. Who are your RB1s? Shoot up 12-6. Or 12-7. Sorry. Yeah.
12. Tank Bigsby Jackson. No.
You've been roping us, telling me to draft Travis Etienne.
That's right. I've been lying. It's Tank Bigsby the whole time. No. 12, Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay. 11, Josh Jacobs, Green Bay. 10, Kyron Williams, Los Angeles. 9, Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis. 8, Devon Achane, Miami. 7, Chase Brown, Cincinnati.
Okay, so 9 through 12, we have the same 4 players, just flipped. 12 is Kyron Williams for the Rams.
Hater.
11 is Jonathan Taylor for the Colts. 10, Bucky Irving of the Bucks. And 9, Josh Jacobs of Green Bay. And I have Josh Jacobs just a few points behind my number 8 back, which is Ashton Janty of the Raiders.
Hater.
And at number 7, Christian McCaffrey of the San Francisco 49ers.
A lot of hate. I can feel it. I can taste the hate coming through the mic.
Chase Brown.
I have it at 7.
7.
That's a good spot for Chase Brown, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm really high on Chase Brown, so I don't hear nothing about nothing.
Not as high as me, brother.
His ADP's 12. We're both high on Chase Brown, okay? Let's just cut it off.
Yeah. I almost have Chase Brown with the same amount of points as Saquon Barkley. So,
hey, man, that's a little outlandish, but I'm right there with you. His back end of the stretch, dude, for Cincinnati last year was phenomenal.
Yeah, I've spammed those Bengals. I think the Bengals offense is going to be great this year.
As he brings up Saquon, like Philly's offense isn't going to be top tier.
He just happens to be the running back ahead of him. That's why I brought up Saquon.
Crazy. But let's get in the top 12.
All right.
So,
all right. Which one of those 4? Kyron, Johnny Taylor, Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs. You want to chat about?
It don't matter. We should just do Kyron and Bucky. I think there are 12s. So we'll start with those two guys.
Yeah. All right. Bucky Irving. We love him here on the podcast. We were way higher during the draft process.
We didn't let those combine haters of Bucky Irving scare us off the true talent he was at Oregon, dude.
Nope. Yeah. He's still I think he's going to be great for fantasy.
Why aren't you in your Bucky Irving jersey? Where's it at, Mr. High on Bucky?
Too hot to wear a jersey.
I got to turn my AC off the podcast, and it's getting hot up in this room, dog.
Yeah, I thought about throwing I thought about throwing on the Drake May for quarterbacks. I got BTJ I could throw on for receivers, Bucky for running backs. But
Just a bunch of second-year guys, dog.
Yeah. I love my dudes. They were my draft guys.
That's
All
true.
Right, Bucky Irving.
Drafted up hot.
Yeah. I have him at 10, which is still lower than ADP. He's going to 8 right now.
Going 8, which I think is crazy high, dude.
Which, is a little rich, but I get it. But Bucky, we've brought it up multiple times. He was looking like a mummy at times last year. He was just banged up, and he was just troopering through it. But he is the starting running back. This is clear cut his backfield now. We don't.
Sure.
Rachaad White is still going to be involved. I think Rachaad White still has fantasy relevance, but Bucky Irving's still the clear cut number one back here. I think you're looking at a guy who's going to push 1,200 yards, push double-digit total touchdowns. I think he's going to have more involvement in the passing game than we saw last year. I think I could see the world where Bucky Irving's a top 6 fantasy running back, so I get him going at 8. He was a darling last year, but I do think there's still Rachaad White's still going to be involved, and Baker obviously is going to want to pass the rock. He's not going to want to take a step back. They're still going to sling it, so I did temper it a little bit at 10, but I think Bucky Irving is good value. I understand taking him in the middle of the second where he's going currently.
I get everything you say. I 100% agree. I think he could push 1,200 yards. Last year he had 1120, so that's pretty close into the ballpark I think he's going to get. He had 8 rushing touchdowns, 50 catches, 400 through the air, but he only finished RB 13. So I think that's an amazing season. I don't think it's going to get much better than that, to be honest. So I do have him as an RB1 just based off him playing in Tampa. He's playing in a great offense. He's the RB1. He's an explosive young running back who just takes advantage of every opportunity given to him. He did it in Oregon. He's doing it here with Tampa. But I think he's capped around RB12 just based off his size. And he still has White behind him. White's going to eat a bunch of these catches out of the backfield.
If I had to place a bet on one of the guys in our top 12, because it looks like we got the same 12 guys, to not be in the top 12, I would probably place that bet on Bucky Irving.
I agree. I 100%
Christian
agree.
McCaffrey would be the next. If I was betting it based off injuries, I would put it on Christian McCaffrey because a guy coming off double Achilles tendonitis scares me. But if all 12 of these guys are healthy, I think the guy most likely not to be in there would be Bucky Irving and Alvin Kamara or James Conner or maybe one of the other rookies make that jump in. Just they blow our minds. But I still think Bucky Irving is going to be really good for you in fantasy.
I totally agree. But if all these guys are healthy, there's no chance McCaffrey falls out of the top 12.
Yeah.
If McCaffrey plays every game, he's not going to fall out of the top 12. Bucky, I don't know. I agree. If one of these guys isn't going to be a top 12 running back, my bet would be on Bucky.
Yeah,
for sure.
Bucky could just be that running back who always just teeters around, always in the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
Might not always be an RB1, but at worst, you're getting RB 15.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, a little bit better.
He's the better version. Yeah, so it goes Tony Pollard, Chuba Hubbard, Bucky Irving. There's our Pokemon evolution.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Kyren Williams, another undersized, poor combine running back.
Dog.
I'm at 12, which is I hate that I have him at 12 because I love Kyren Williams. He's going at 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So I'm one spot lower than consensus. This is pass work. I have him for under 30 catches, and that kind of brings him down. And I just don't think he's as good on the ground, or will get the workload that Jonathan Taylor will get, who's my running back above him. I just think Jonathan Taylor's workload and just his running ability pushes him over, even though he gets no pass game work. But I have Kyren at double-digit touchdowns, 1,200 yards on the ground. I just have him under 30 catches, and it kind of bumps him down here at 12. But, again, he's a steal, too. He's going at the middle of the third.
Yeah,
and
he's been RB7 the last 2 years.
Yeah, I'm comfortable taking him in the second round.
I agree. Nothing's going to change. Even if they don't get a deal done, they're going to run the hell out of Kyren Williams like they've been doing the last 2 years, and he's had close to 1,200 yards both years, double-digit touchdowns both years, pushing 30 catches. He had 32 and 34, so he's going to be in the ballpark of high 20s, low 30s catches.
Yeah, I'm at 29.
So around exactly where you have him is going to be his pass work. But in this offense, Kyron's going to cook every single opportunity he's given to him. He's their RB1. He's the touchdown guy. I don't think that changes. I honestly think they get a deal done at some point, if it's not throughout the year. Kyron's going to be there. They love that guy. You just see what he brings to the table every single year for the Rams. And I just don't see how they don't get a deal done with him. And he wants to be there, definitely. I love Kyron. I don't think he's going to not be an RB1.
Running back market could look interesting in free agency. Kyron Williams, James Cook.
James Cook, for sure.
Yeah. It could Ken Walker.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Another guy playing for a contract. Yeah, it could be really
Isaiah
good.
Pacheco?
Sure. We'll see what happens there. I hope he has a bounce back year, dude. I love Pacheco as like an actual dude, and like I just hope it works out. I have him 30.
30. Oh, I'm at 38. I got Austin Eckler over him, brother.
You have Kareem Hunt high? You think Kareem Hunt's gonna get like a workload?
I have Kareem Hunt at 47.
Okay, I mean, I got him at 46, so yeah, we're in the same ballpark for Kareem Hunt. I think he's going to be a little bit involved, but not terribly.
I just don't think the Chiefs' offense is going to be fantasy useful.
Yeah, they don't need him to be. They're going to chip away at games and win games. Yeah,
except Buffalo has Josh Allen, who is a fantasy darling, whereas Pat Mahomes is just not right now.
I mean, when you're getting double-digit rushing touchdowns as a quarterback, you're going to be a fantasy darling.
Yeah, exactly. But Kyron Williams, again, just I think all 12 of these guys are just so safe, and you're going to be really happy with any of them.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor. You have him at 11?
I have 9. I have 9. Okay. Above Kyron. 11.
So we have Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs flopped.
Yeah. The stretch he went on to end last season was historic. It literally was historic.
Insane.
But he played dog shit teams. He played really bad. He played like the 4 worst teams in the NFL. But he's still going to play a couple of those teams again this year because they're division teams. Yep. And Jonathan Taylor absolutely destroys bad teams. Yeah. He could easily be RB like 1, 2, 3 in that realm. He's done it before.
It'd be great if they got him involved in the passing game.
He can do it too. It's the Barkley thing. They just don't.
The last 3 years,
not the system
going down. Yep.
Yeah, and especially now with Danny Jones, I don't think it's going to be much better. Jones used Barkley a lot in the dink and dunk, so I think that's going to be a little bit more improved for Jonathan Taylor. But I don't think it's going to be high upside like Achane or Chase Brown or
I'm at 20
the guys above him. I think he's going to get more than that. I think like 35 at I think that's like a range he could push. The Colts offense scares the hell out of me, but Jonathan Taylor doesn't. Don't even question Jonathan Taylor. He's so athletic. He's so gifted. He's one of those guys that can make anything out of dog shit opportunities, and it's going to happen here in Indianapolis. They're not going to be a good offense, but Jonathan Taylor is going to be a really good fantasy asset. He always is.
The last 2 years, Jonathan Taylor's been under 20 catches.
Yeah. Who has his quarterback been the last 2 years, TJ?
Joe Flacco, Anthony Richardson. Who else?
Statistically, one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history.
Anthony Richardson only played in 3 games in 2023. And those games, Jonathan Taylor didn't play. So he was whoever the next quarterback was in 2023. I don't even remember who that was.
He's also missed a ton of time the last 3 years.
Who was their quarterback?
He played 10 games. He played 11 games. He played 14 games. So I'm statting him out for a full season. So he's going to have more than
Garner Minshew.
Yeah. So he's getting 20 catches in half a season, a little more than half a season. So I think he can get more than that if he plays a full season.
Yeah.
But every time he finishes a full season, he's been an RB1.
Well, I think Anthony Richardson plays this year, so
I don't think he plays much. I'm not going to lie to you. I think Danny Jones is their quarterback for 85 to 90% of the season.
I I think if Richardson is healthy or if he starts the year on the pup, he comes in week 8 or 9 and he plays the back end of the year. And then the Colts are in position to draft a quarterback, hopefully. But Jonathan
I don't
Taylor,
think
though,
they will be. They almost had a winning record last year.
I know.
They were 8-9. I think they're going to be in the same ballpark.
I don't even know how they were 8-9. Like
I think they're going to be the same ballpark, though. So I don't think they're going to be in a position to draft a quarterback.
I need this team to just kind of bomb. And new ownership, I kind of hope that the daughters of Irsay, because they're real involved. Like, they're on the field, and they wear headsets to see what, like, the coaches is calling. This was before they were even, like, because Jim Irsay just died. So, like, they were doing it, like, why would I? I'm investing in this coach. I want to make sure I have the right guy. So, like, I love how involved they are in terms of that. And, like, I hope Indianapolis, like, I hope they just have a bomb year in a bad way. And they fire Steichen. I like Shane Steichen. And then they can just move on. Maybe they bring in, like, Brian Flores from Minnesota, and he can bring in Josh McCown, who's on the Vikings coaching staff, or bring in the Vikings offensive coordinator if they don't want to lose Josh McCown. Maybe Wes Phillips then gets more of a role to do on his own because he's obviously not controlling the offense with Kevin O'Connell. And then you can bring in a quarterback, develop them in that system, whether it be Drew Aller or Fernando Mendoza, one of those guys. Like, I hope that's the route to go with the Colts. But Jonathan Taylor, lock him in as just a elite level running back for fantasy. Like, you're not going to be disappointed in him no matter how bad the Colts offense is. He still makes it work.
Yeah, no, I'm super happy with Jonathan Taylor as my RB1. He played 14 games last year, hit over 1,400 yards. He averaged over 100 yards a game. If you let this guy play 17 games, that's over 1,700 yards. He's so good, dude.
Yeah. All right, Josh Jacobs, who we hated last year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We did nothing but
avid haters of Josh Jacobs last year.
Bad mouth Josh Jacobs.
His 2023 in Vegas was so bad.
Yep, and then he was being drafted as like a top 15 back, and we thought there'd be more of a timeshare, and Marshawn Lloyd couldn't handle the ball in training camp, and then he was hurt, and A.J. Dillon was always hurt, so it was just this scramble of backups where it was just Josh Jacobs did everything, and he was incredible for the Packers, and I think that's still going to be the case. I think Marshawn Lloyd will be a little bit involved, but Josh Jacobs,
tiny bit, it's not going to be much.
I have him pushing 300 carries. I think he's a 1,300-yard back, double-digit touchdowns. He'll catch some passes. I don't think he scores through the ground or through the air. He hasn't had he's like one career receiving touchdown. Hey,
it happened in this 1 year in Green Bay, dude.
It did happen.
So that's 100% success rate in Green Bay going through the air.
He's the guy who's going to push 40 catches. He's going to push 1,300 yards. He's going to push double-digit touchdowns. Like, he is great for this offense. And in an offense that lacks true weapons in the receiving game, and they don't have an alpha there, but they do have an alpha in that backfield in Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, I totally agree. We were way wrong on Jacobs. I think he's close to 300, if not more. He's done it before. He had 340 carries. But then he took a huge step back the year before, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. He had 300 carries last year.
He's in camp, though. He'll be there.
I agree, and that's what's important. He wasn't in camp the year in Vegas, so it took a huge toll on his body, and he never bounced back.
Like, I have Janty at 8 and McCaffrey at 7.
Mm-hmm.
I could bring myself into picking Josh Jacobs over both those guys. Just because I don't think, like, McCaffrey has the unknown with the tendonitis and his injuries, and Janty's a rookie, so there's still the chance that we just blow his hype out of proportion.
Jacobs is definitely the safer option out of both those guys, but let me tell you something. Papa's feeling frisky in the first round, and I'm rolling the dice on McCaffrey and Genty.
I agree. I would take Janty over him, who I have at 8. All right, Janty, McCaffrey, that's my 8 and 7. Who were your 8 and 7? It was Chase Brown and Devon Achane.
Yep.
Yeah,
Brown and Brown and Achane.
Are Janty and McCaffrey in your top 5?
Genty's not. He's 6.
Okay, because Chase Brown and Achane are in my top 5.
Man, you didn't even have to ask about McCaffrey. You know McCaffrey's in my top 5, dog.
Yeah, I didn't want to assume. Okay, let's talk about Chase Brown then. I'm bullish on the Bengals offense. Joe Burrow as QB2. I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to probably be receiver ones this year. I think Mike Gesicki is a good value late in drafts if you're going to punt the tight end position. I just want pieces of this offense. Chase Brown last year, when he was the guy at the back, when Zach Moss got hurt, Chase Brown dominated fantasy football. And
Week
the Bengals,
9 on.
we brought it up. The Bengals did not bring anybody in to take away from him. Like, they drafted Taj Brooks in the 6th round. They still have Zach Moss. They brought back Samaje Perine. None of these guys are taking away opportunities from Chase Brown. So here's a guy, Chris Collinsworth wise, that
just about to say
is going to get 250 carries. He's going to push 70 targets. So PPR wise, that's why I have him in my top 5. If we did half PPR, I have him at 7. So full PPR, I just think he's going to get maybe 50 catches, and he's going to push double-digit touchdowns. I have him set for 9, 7 on the ground, 2 through the air, 50 catches, 300-plus receiving yards. I have him for going over 1,000 on the ground. Like, I just think in this high-powered offense, Joe Mixon was always fantasy relevant. Chase Brown gives a little bit to this offense that Joe Mixon didn't necessarily have, and that's a little juice, more passing game work. Joe Mixon was just a fine receiving back, but nothing where he was getting 50-plus receptions.
Yeah, no, I agree. He became the full-time starter week 9 on, and he still finished as RB10. I think 50 catches is his floor. He had 54 catches last year as a split-time back.
Mm-hmm.
He pushed 230 carries. He almost had 1,000 yards.
He would have had 1,000 yards had he not missed that last game.
Well, yeah, I don't count week 18. I don't care if he missed week 18.
Well, no, he missed 17.
Fantasy. He didn't play 17? Don't know.
He missed 16 or 17. He missed a game with an ankle injury.
He did miss. No, he just didn't play week 18. He played every other game.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not worried about that. If you take his back end from week 9, he's going to be an RB1. I don't even think it's going to be close. He's being drafted as RB12 right now, which I think is at his floor. So you're drafting a guy at his floor super early in drafts. That
he's
could
going to 3-7.
He could easily finish well above RB12. He did it last year as a split-time starter.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm all in on Chase Brown. I get he only had 1 game over 100 rushing yards last year, so you're not going to be eating in all these rushing yards, but he got a bunch of touchdowns. He got a bunch through the air, and that's what you love most about fantasy football. If these running backs are getting 75 targets and they're bringing in close to 60 catches, that's free points.
Yeah, and you're content with them being inefficient or not getting a full workload running wise.
Yes. He is an elite version of Rachaad White. He's efficient through the ground. He'll get over 4 carry, but he's still this really good receiving back who's going to eat up all these targets in Cincinnati.
Yeah, and he plays for arguably the most exciting offense in football, who's also paired with a bad defense. The worst thing for fantasy is the Bengals defense becomes just an average defense.
That'd be terrible.
And they don't have to... I think getting Dax Hill back's good for them, but we'll get more into the Bengals when we do our divisional stuff. But Dax Hill being hurt really, I think, took a toll on that defense. But who knows? Trey Hendrickson might not be there. Shamar Stewart. It's a mess,
I didn't know Dax Hill was playing defensive end for the Cincinnati Bengals because they're gonna need him to play defensive end.
But he was their best defensive back though, and he's
really good. He was good coming out of Michigan though. He's a very good player.
But the Bengals offense is the elite of the elite. You want any piece you could get. Like, if you could somehow get all of them. Burrow, Chase. You get Chase in the first, Higgins and Brown on the 2-3, and hope Joe Burrow falls to you in the 4th. You're cooking, but somebody's preventing you then. Joe Burrow's not getting back to you.
Yeah, I would make sure that doesn't happen. But that stack would win you a championship probably 8 out of 10 times, for sure.
Yeah.
Grab Gesicki late in the draft, too. Might as well.
Yeah. Ashton Janty. You have him
6.
I have him at 8.
Right outside my top 5.
Yeah. So I have him at 8, and it's I have him statted out for a good year. 60 targets, over 1,200 yards rushing, 9 total touchdowns. I think from a rookie running back perspective, he's probably the safest prospect, even compared to Bijan, and he's on a team that he's the clear-cut guy. Like,
they're going to run the hell out of him.
Yeah, Raheem Mostert's not going to eat into this workload. Sincere McCormick, Zamir White, there's nobody behind him who scares you. Like when Bijan came in, Tyler Algier was coming off a 1,000-yard season. So
a 1,000-yard rookie season. So he was a young 1,000-yard back.
Yep.
Genty doesn't have any of that. And he's got Pete Carroll, who's going to want to run the hell out of the football.
He has RB1 overall ceiling as a rookie.
For sure. He has the catch ability. We've seen it 2 years ago at Boise State. We didn't see it last year. But he could easily pull in 50, 60, 65 catches if this offense needs him and they ask him to do that. Geno could give him the ball so much and just rely on him to chip away. And they got a decent offensive line. It'll get the job done for him in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think the world is the ceiling here for Genty. Yeah. He could easily be RB1.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Devon Achane. Do you have McCaffrey? Do you have McCaffrey at 2?
No.
Okay. God. I have Achane at 2.
I have McCaffrey at 1.
I'll
just get it out of here right now.
Oh, what a world. Okay. Let's talk. Let's talk
McCaffrey is my RB1.
Because I have Achane at 2, and I have McCaffrey at 7. You have Achane at 8, and I have McCaffrey at 1.
Yeah.
So we see them the same way. It's just, I think Achane is the guy. Like, I have Achane catching almost 70 passes. I have Achane at 11 total touchdowns, 7 on the ground, 4 through the air. I have him almost at 500 receiving yards, barely over 1,000 rushing yards. Like, I think we're going to see closer to that rookie year Achane. He's obviously not going to average 8 yards a carry, but I think from an explosive, just big play rate, I think we're getting closer to that. Like, he is the Miami Dolphin I want. Like, I think he is due for a huge season.
I'm not saying you're wrong. He was fit RB5 last year. I think that's around his ceiling just based off his size, but he could easily finish above that based off of PPR work. I think McCaffrey's going to outrush him, and I think they're going to be almost dead even in the receiving game. I have both these guys getting 70-plus catches. I think I've been I'm both at 74 and 75,
I have McCaffrey under 50 catches.
That's not a lot. He's never had under 50 catches if he's played a full season.
I think it's a workload management. I do think the Niners are going to manage his workload. I said that when we talked about Brock Purdy, that the best thing for them is to manage Christian McCaffrey's workload just based off the injury. I do think the injury also plays a part in just how effective he's going to be this year. Okay, I still am at 7, which is on par with where he's being drafted. 2, 4, 6. He is RB7.
No, I thought he was being drafted like after that.
Now, RB7 at the 2-4. And I'm comfortable taking Christian McCaffrey in the first round. I am. Because he does bring you league-winning potential. I just think the Niners are going to manage his work rate and try to keep him healthy for when it matters, and that's the playoffs. Because I think the Niners are going to be a really good football team this year. I think they're going to be a playoff team. I even think they could be a Super Bowl contender in the NFC.
I don't think they're going to make it through the playoffs, but they're definitely going to get to the playoffs based off their schedule. I think they get bounced pretty early. But I think McCaffrey's going to carry this team fully. I think they're going to, if the Niners are good, we've seen it before, it runs through McCaffrey. The years they've been elite contenders, it's been really good defense and Christian McCaffrey. They got Robert Salas back, and they're getting Christian McCaffrey back, and I think that's the formula that they're going to cook with. If McCaffrey plays, he finishes RB1 and 2. That's where he finishes. That's his ceiling if he plays every single game. I'm statting these guys out to if they play. I have him barely over 1,000 yards, but I have him at 70-some catches. A ton of touchdowns because he's going to be healthy. He had 14 the year before on the ground, and then 7 through the air, 5 the year before that. I just think McCaffrey is a league winner, and I'll live and die by McCaffrey. If he burns me, he burns me. But if he plays, I'll see you in the championship. So
I just think I do think I have him set now for the whole year. I just think the Niners manage his work rate.
Yeah,
And
that's reasonable. 100% reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I have him going where he's drafted. I'm not afraid to take Christian McCaffrey. I would take him
I'm
at the
certainly
back end
not
of the
afraid
first,
to take him.
beginning of the second. I'm very comfortable there with him.
Now, I have him at my RB1, but if I'm picking one, I'm not picking him over Chase. I'm not picking him two. I would take Bijan over him. I think Bijan would be the only running back I would take over McCaffrey this year, just based off of he's young, he has no injury concern, and I think he could do what McCaffrey does.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I'm taking Bijan over him, but McCaffrey would be right there behind him.
All right, you have Genty 6.
Yeah.
I have Derrick Henry 6. I assume Derrick Henry is your 5.
Oh, what do you assume? But yes, he is my 5.
Okay. Okay. I have Chase Brown 5. We already talked about him. Rounding out, I have Barkley 4, Gibbs 3, Achane 2, Bijan 1.
I have Gibbs 4, Barkley 3, Bijan 2, McCaffrey 1.
Okay. Yeah, I have a 20-point gap from Gibbs, who's my 3, to Barkley, who's my 4.
Okay.
So I have Gibbs, Achane, and Bijan. They're my tier 1 running backs. They have all within 10 points of each other.
I get why
Barkley
Gibbs
incredibly safe. Again, it's pass catching. That's the only reason. Like, I don't have Barkley going for 30 catches. But
he's not gonna.
I have Gibbs
at
50. I have Achane at 64, and I have Bijan at 55. So that's what propels these guys over Saquon Barkley in half PPR. I mean, they still beat him out a little bit, but he's way closer to that group. That like he's Achane in my half point is my 3, and Barkley's only 4 points behind him.
Yeah,
if we use half scoring,
that makes total sense because Barkley's not going to get the catches like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm putting McCaffrey, Bijan, and Barkley over Gibbs just based off the fact that they don't have David Montgomery running behind them. They have Isaiah Garendo, Tyler Algier, and Will Shipley running behind them, and that's not concerning me whatsoever. But Gibbs is obviously going to eat like he always does in Detroit. He's going to get a ton of catches, even though Montgomery outcatched him last year. But I think that takes a bit of a change. But Montgomery's still going to be involved. He's pretty close to 30, 40 catches every year of his career. So I think that's still going to happen. I think Gibbs takes a bigger involvement, though.
I think
I just trust the other 3 guys a lot more. Not a lot more, but I trust them more.
I think we're looking at 230 some carries for Gibbs this year, like a true workhorse load.
I think it can push that, but I'm guaranteed to get that out of the other guys. McCaffrey, if he plays, obviously.
Yeah, Gibbs though gives you this exciting ceiling though, and I think the Lions go as far as Jahmyr Gibbs takes them. I think he's their best player.
Yeah, definitely. It's him and Amon-Ra, but
no disrespect to
it's hard.
Amon-Ra,
It's hard
but
for a receiver to carry your team,
especially a guy who's more just a shorter receiver who's not going to change you with a big play like Jameson Williams does that. But Gibbs is a game changer in my eyes, and just the way he plays, the excitement of him, and you want to have some excitement. At Barkley, obviously, 2,000-yard season, you got to worry a little bit of the wear and tear on him. He's older. He's had injury concerns in the past, but I think Philly's good. I think Barkley's going to have a really good year this year. Same with Derrick Henry. Again, he's older, but Derrick Henry's on another planet.
I'm not worried about Derrick Henry.
He's the one running back who age doesn't scare me.
And obviously it's a joke thing, but that thing with Sandler offering him a part in a movie if he hits 2,000 yards, I think Derrick Henry is honestly going to make that his goal. He was super close last year. Like, if Barkley didn't do what Barkley did, we would be talking about what Derrick Henry did. Derrick Henry had an historic season in Baltimore. It's just that Barkley had a better season in Philly. I love all the top 12 guys, to be honest. I'm really comfortable with all of them. The top 5, 6 guys, 7 guys, 8 guys even especially. But Genty, Henry, Gibbs, Barkley, Bijan, McCaffrey, they're all just locks, dude. They're all going to be solid, barring injury, obviously, for McCaffrey. But yeah, you can't go wrong with any of these guys, and that's obviously why they're all drafted very early in drafts because of
Except
what
Chase
they
Brown.
all bring to the table.
He's going at the back end of the third.
Yeah, we gotta bump up those ADP guys. Like we gotta
Chase
get
Brown
that guy
guys.
drafted.
Yeah,
Hey, we're just Chase Brown guys. No
he's
big
gonna
deal.
be the agenda we're pushing this season. Is Chase
Hey
Brown.
man, I'll push that agenda all day. Chase Brown RB1 easily.
Yeah, he's
It's
the new
not even a doubt in my
early.
mind. Chase Brown is going to be an RB1 this year, barring injuries, obviously. But if he doesn't get hurt, he's going to be an RB1. Yeah, I don't have any question about that.
If I'm sitting at 11 or 12, and it's running back heavy, and the main receivers are gone, Jefferson, Chase, CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, but I can get McCaffrey there, baby. My RB1, Christian McCaffrey.
See,
back end
I
of
would,
the first.
I would take Chase Brown over them, and I would try then to pair him maybe with McCaffrey or Derrick Henry on the swing.
Yeah, if you could pull that, I think you could get Chase Brown on the swing. Either way, I think you can get both of those guys on the swing.
Board, but know your league mates, because if you know the people around you, you know kind of where they feel, or maybe that you're in a Bengals fans in your league and they value Chase Brown. But
yeah,
don't overdraft. But Chase Brown is a guy I'd be willing to overdraft, because I know chances are he doesn't get back to me in the third if I'm drafting at the end of the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be willing to consider him at the beginning of the second. But if I'm drafting at the beginning of the draft, I'm drafting in the first 3 spots, I'm willing to take Chase either at the back end of the second or beginning of the third. Because, again, I think that's just insane value in where I have him.
I totally agree. You're getting an RB1 wherever you draft him, to be honest. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, all these guys have really good value in my eyes. McCaffrey going late first, early second. Obviously, Bijan, Barkley, Gibbs all going very early in the draft. And then Henry also going late first, early second.
Derrick Henry, we're actually lower than consensus current. Derrick Henry's going as RB4.
Well, because he's going over McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I have McCaffrey in my top 4, and you have Achane in your top 4?
Yes, but
so he's going over both of those guys.
It's Barkley, Bijan, Gibbs, and then Henry's the 4th back off the board over Janty, over McCaffrey. I
have him over Genty. I have him over Achane. I would assume you have him over McCaffrey, right?
Yes, yeah. I have them back to back 6 and 7, but I have Henry over him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Recap top 24. I have Tony Pollard, Ken Walker, DeAndre Swift, Chuba Hubbard, Amari, and Hampton at 20. Trevion Henderson, Breece Hall, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, James Cook, who's at 15. James Conner, Alvin Kamara, Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor at 11. Top 10, Bucky Irving, Josh Jacobs, Ashton Janty, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry. And then top 5, Chase Brown, Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, and Bijan Robinson. We didn't really talk about Bijan.
Well, let me quick recap and then we'll go into Bijan.
Yeah.
Because it's be pointless to do that. So, David Montgomery, Tony Pollard, Amario and Hampton, Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones at 20, James Conner, Chuba Hubbard, Quinshon Judkins, Breece Hall, James Cook at 15, Joe Mixon, Alvin Kamara, and then my top 12 RB1s being Bucky Irving at 12, Josh Jacobs at 11, Kyron Williams at 10, Jonathan Taylor at 9, Devon Achane at 8, Chase Brown at 7, Ashton Janty at 6, Derrick Henry at 5, Gibbs at 4, Barkley at 3, Bijan at 2, Christian McCaffrey at 1.
Yeah, so Bijan Robinson.
Bijan, he's so good. But he doesn't explode, and he's not like a big-time runner, but he's getting like 5 to 8 yards every single carry. Yeah. And he's just chipping away, making defenses so tired. And then come the fourth, he's just wearing defenses down, dude. He's so much fun to watch, just the way he can pick apart a defense.
Yeah, and I think he's
the safest running back this year.
Yeah, and we're in the same boat that we think Atlanta is going to be slinging the rock as well. We don't think the defense is going to be good. So I think passing game-wise, he's going to have an incredible involvement in the passing game because that's not Tyler Allgeier's shtick. So Bijan's going to be on there. Like, I think this is the first, I think we're going to see Bijan just take over this backfield, and we're going to see very minimal for Tyler Allgeier, which is a shame because I like Tyler Allgeier, but
he's good.
I just think this is Bijan's world now in Atlanta, which kind of went that way last year. I think because I don't know Algiers stats off the top of my head.
Bijan had 304 attempts last year. He was the workhorse back. He had 304 attempts, 1,400 yards. He averaged 4.7 a carry, 14 touchdowns on the ground. He had 61 catches.
Yeah,
I think there's room for all of that to improve. He finishes the RB3 last year. I think 1 is his ceiling.
Yeah, Algier had 137 carries and then 13 targets. 100% catch rate, 13 catches.
Yeah, he's not going to be used in the catch rate, and they're all going to be like super short passes.
So it was 150 touches that he had. I don't think he gets that this year.
No, I think it's like 120, 125, around that range. And I expect Bijan to see pushing 80 targets again. He's seen 72 targets last year. I think 80 is definitely in the possibility where then he could push 70 catches, get close to 500 receiving yards, get a little more involved in the touchdown games through the air because he only had 1 last year, but he had 4 as a rookie. So I'm looking at double-digit touchdowns here, close to 1,500 yards rushing, a ton of carries, a ton of receiving work. Bijan is super safe RB1. Yeah. I get it. I just love the upside of McCaffrey.
Yeah, he's the only guy I would put in consideration with Jamar Chase at the 1-1.
I don't think I would take anyone in consideration. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay,
but I get fair, if you take Bijan, but I would take Chase 10 out of 10 times 1-1.
Yeah. If it was half PPR, I may be able to sway into Bijan at the 1-1, but
yeah, maybe. And I guess it depends on what kind of leagues you play. Like if
you're playing standard and you're not doing PPR, I guess you go.
Oh well,
Bijan, that's dumb. Leave that league.
Yeah, leave that league. We've talked about that. I'm not doing any leagues that aren't PPR, half point PPR. That's just asinine.
Yeah. All right, let's get on out of here. We'll be back next week with receivers, and I guess we're giving tight ends their own episode. So that's kind of cool, I guess.
Sure, that's not going to be 24 of them. I can tell you that much.
No, we will do 12 tight ends. We will do 12 tight ends.
Yeah, it'll be around there.
We might do 36 receivers. We'll do wide receiver 3s.
Yeah, we might do more receivers. We could throw some on the tight end episode. I'd be cool with that.
All right, let's get on out of here. Drafted Up Podcast.
Oh yeah.
We appreciate you guys. We'll catch you all next week as we continue on our fantasy rankings series.
Yep.
Yeah. And after we finish our rankings, mock draft.
And then division stuff. Hell yeah, dog.
Yep.
Real football.
Yeah. Once training camps start, which they start next week, I believe we'll start diving into division stuff. We wanted to wait for camps before we started fully talking about teams. That way there's a little bit clearer picture as we do our divisional breakdowns and predictions.
Yeah, there's fake news coming out of camps now, and then there'll be even more fake news coming out of camps when it actually starts. So we're here to report all the fake news.
I can't wait for all the fluff pieces.
Oh, they're hilarious. I cannot wait. Hey, man, I hear Trey Benson's looking amazing in Arizona right now, so I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, Trey Benson. We loved him here. RB1. Trey Benson. True. Yeah. All right. We'll catch you guys later. Adios.
Bye.